Hello students, welcome to the second part of our video. Still, our lesson focuses on Greek literature, arts, and culture. This is your English teacher, Miss Diane Rose Tagle. I was asking you, how did Greece earn its title, Glorious? Did you make your own research? Let's see. Let me share my screen. The glory that was Greece. Let's trace it back. The ancient Greeks were unique people. They believed that individuals should be free as long as they acted within the laws of Greece. This allowed them the opportunity to excel in any direction they chose. What could be the secret? Here's the conversation between Herodotus, the great Greek historian and a great traveler, when he was in Persia, and the queen herself, Queen Atossa, asking him the question, who are the Greeks? His answer, I am a Greek. When you look at me, you see a Greek. What master do they obey? The queen further asked. The Greeks have no master. They are not slaves. Whom do they obey then? They obey the laws. The laws? What are the laws? They have no master. What a strange people. And the queen shook her head. What do you think? Let me ask you now. Who are the Greeks? Ancient Greeks were considered free men. They're able to explore and do masterpieces, excel in any craft they're into with only one limitation. Guess what? Not to break any law. As simple as that. But you know what? The product was so tremendous. They're able to contribute so much to the world that they earned respect and glory. And that is how they earned the title Glorious. The glory that was Greece. Now, let's talk about the Greeks' influence to the world. It has an ancient culture that has had a significant influence on the arts, language, philosophy, politics, and sports of Western society, including the genres of comedy and drama, Western alphabets, Platonic ideals, and the Socratic method, democracies, and the republics, and not to mention the Olympics. Also, do you know that there are still a lot? That includes theater, architectural styles, philosophy. Also, I would like to share with you words derived from Greeks like antique, idol, dialogue, geography, grammar, architect, economy, encyclopedia, telephone, microscope. These are just few words, but there's still a lot coming from Greeks. This time, let's have a very quick tour around Athens, the intellectual center of Greece. The Acropolis, dedicated to Athena, was the religious shrine and high fortress for the Athenian people. Its walls were built on a layer of limestone rock overlooking the city. Within these walls, the people of Athens built temples and buildings, and the famous of all of which being the Parthenon. Athens is the symbol of freedom, art, and democracy in the conscience of the civilized world. The capital of Greece took its name from the goddess Athena herself, the goddess of wisdom and knowledge. Let's talk about Athenian art. It is some of the most unique in the world. They were not only master builders, but also great lovers of art. This is Acropolis at night. In Greek, it means the sacred rock, the high city. All around the world, the Acropolis of Athens is known as the Acropolis. Work began on Parthenon, built on Acropolis to replace the existing temple which was destroyed by the Persians during the war. The work began under the orders of Pericles to show the wealth and exuberance of Athenian power. This magnificent structure was built of ivory and gold and was sculptured by the renowned sculptor Phidias, built in 5th century BC. What have you observed about Grecian architecture? Take a look at it closely. Guess what? It's the pillars. Now, I'd like to present to you the three types: Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian. Now you know that these pillars are inspired by the Greeks. Here in Parthenon is Doric, the most basic. The Erechtheum contained sanctuaries to Athena, Polias, Poseidon, and Erechtheus, is considered Ionic. And here, Temple of Apollo make use also of Ionic pillars. And this one, the most complicated of all, but considered also the most beautiful, is Corinthian. Look at this. Now, in UNOR, what do you see? The pillars, Doric, Ionic, or Corinthian? Mostly, it's Doric, you are correct. So let's move on. Also, Grecian arts focuses mainly on the perfection of human body, be it in sculpture or in anything. Also, etches on the wall. The wall carvings are also into perfection. This is the image of Medusa. And this tells story about how Romans conquered and enslaved the Greeks. This is Thucydides, the great historian. Plato, great philosopher. And not to mention the Greek painted vases. These are so beautiful. The pictures etched in here would tell us stories of the past. And we call this kind of art the black figure vase painting. Okay, let's move on to the dress style. Look at this. Familiar? The women fashion and the men's fashion. All inspired by the Greeks. Olympic Games, the greatest national festival for the Athenians, athletes came from all regions of Greece to compete in the great stadium of Olympia and honor their supreme god, Zeus. Winners were presented with garland and renowned with olive wreaths. This is Olympia, the site of the ancient Olympic Games, held every 4 years in honor to the Olympian gods. Also, this sculpture is called the Discobolus, the ancient Greek statue, the best example showing freedom of movement. The Discus Thrower by Myron in the Museo Nazionale Romano in Rome. This is one of the most famous classic Greek statues from this period. Do we appreciate the present when we look back to the past? What do you think? Yes. Try to look around. Look at your walls, the design of your house, even the paintings, frame designs. They're all inspired from the past. The stories that you read, the movies that you watch, even the superheroes that you like, are all inspirations from the past. The way we think, our mindset, is a product of our knowledge and inspirations from the past. Okay? So, with all these, unfortunately, only little has survived. How is this possible? Remember, Romans conquered the Greeks, right? And so, with that, usually the conquerors would destroy everything, anything in sight, to replace everything of their own. But you know what? The Romans were left in awe of all the beauties, the artworks of Greeks. And so, the ending, they ended up copying almost everything, from literary pieces to architectures, almost everything. So the question is, who really conquered whom? This will be discussed in our succeeding lessons in English. So much for that. Let's move on to How different was Greek art? We have three comparisons: the Egyptian art, the Indian art, and the Grecian art. So let's start with the Egyptian art first. Take a look at it. You see it? It's a natural, stiff in its fixity of expression. Also, Indian art is really beautiful, free yet results are strange. Take a look at it closely. Shiva stands poised, arrested in movements, a dance performance represented by many heads and arms curving from the body. And this one, in Grecian art, gods are in perfect human form. Their absolute beauty is the mark of their divinity. This is Hermes, Zeus, and Hera. All right. So moving on to the Greek literature's three periods. One is it covers the antiquity of pre-Homeric and Homeric age to the age of Herodotus in 484 BC. This includes the earliest poetry of Greece and the work of Homer, like the Iliad and the Odyssey. Second is the age of Herodotus to the death of Alexander the Great during 323 BC. Alexander the Great, familiar? The greatest conqueror of the history. Is he Greek or Roman? What do you think? Try to think of it. He is actually a Macedonian prince, a leader in conquests. But you know what? Macedonia is a region in Greece. Therefore, Alexander himself is Greek. The third period is the period of decline. This extends from the death of Alexander the Great to the enslavement of Greeks by Rome and extends to 1453 AD. And so, this is Alexander the Great. He was able to conquer almost half of the world, even Persia, right? However, he died at the age of 32, too young for that. And so, his style of conquests actually inspired the Romans. Soon later, you know it in history, the greatest conqueror, the great, or should I say, the strongest empire is that of Rome. Okay, so for the Greek literature, the world has produced no epic poet to compare with Homer, no lyric poet to equal Pindar. History has no great practitioner than Herodotus and Thucydides, no prose more poetic than Plato. Of the four great tragic poets the world has produced, three are Greeks. The fourth is Shakespeare. Why? What is his nationality? He is, you're right, Italian. Let's move on. Qualities of Greek literature. One, permanence and universality. What does this mean? It has an enduring quality that even up to now, we still appreciate it, we use it, we see it. Second, essentially full of artistry. Greek art is the highest form of art. It is actually used as the model, an epitome of true beauty and perfection. Third, originality. Original. This does not mean that everything started from them. It means to say that Greek mind had the supreme power of modifying and improving all that it touched. Next, diversity of talent. Greek mind was ever searching, ever seeking. Greeks cultivated all literary types of perfection that all nations can benefit of. Fifth, intellectual quality. Greek mind challenges one to think for some purpose, to bring about some inner transformation. So that is why Greek literature or Greek influence to the world, even up to now, is still very evident. What makes Greek literature and culture a strong influence to the modern world? Because of its qualities mentioned a while ago. Can you name all five? Next question. Why do people aspire for glory? Is it okay to aspire for glory, students? Yes, of course. for as long as you do not put anyone down, just for you to rise up on top and be the best you can be. It is okay to be glorious, aspire for glory. Yes, again, for as long as you stay grounded, give respect to others, and love others in a way that you love yourself. In doing so, people will respect and love you in return. All right? And what do you learn today? Hmm? I would like to highlight some. You should have the sense of freedom to explore, to learn new things without hesitation, if the result is to make you a better person. Respect for others, especially you become somebody later on. Again, stay grounded. And love whatever you do. This will bring you happiness and improve in any craft you are into. And in return, your work will love you back, and other people will love you as well. So, what have you learned and the lesson? So grab your task sheet and start sharing your thoughts. We end right here. So thank you so much. See you in the next video. Goodbye.